So today we are going over Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will shew thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless him that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So the Lord told him to basically leave his family and his country, that the Lord was going to make a new country out of it. And it says that anyone who does good to him will get good done to him. Anyone that does bad to him will have bad done to him. And in a way, that's a very big thing, because it doesn't say how Abram and God got this close, like it did with Noah, where it talked about Noah being a good man and all this, the only good, man and family that was left. Like, it doesn't go into all that, but I'm assuming it doesn't have to. God was so impressed with Abram that he's going to make a nation out of his seed, and he didn't want nobody messing with Abram. I mean, he was obviously very happy with Abram, said that he would curse people that messed with him. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. So Abram done what he was told to do. He left. He took Lot with him. And it says Abram was 75 years old. And Abram took Sarah his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, unto the plain of Moreh, Moab or something. And Canaan was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram, and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. So Abram took all he took with him was his wife, Lot, who was his brother's son, and all the stuff that they had gathered, all the stuff they managed to put together, all their supplies, basically. And he moved to Canaan. And the Lord told him that Canaan would be given to all his sons and daughters and so forth. And Abram was very happy, and he built an altar unto the Lord to make sacrifices to the Lord for. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Hai on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. Now here we have an important part. It says he builded an altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. So God appeared to him. So, and Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. So in Canaan, there was a famine going on. I assume it was probably a drought. Vegetables and such probably weren't growing right. People were hungry. People were starving. So it said Abram went down to Egypt. And it came to pass, when he was close near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarah his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. So we have a lot to digest right here. We have the famine was so bad that I imagine Abram and his family were probably starving. They couldn't find anything to eat, and people get very desperate in desperate times. And I think this is what was going on. Is Abram was he knew that Egypt had to be aware of the famine and the people coming in or wanting to come in. And the Egyptians were probably taking that situation for granted and preying upon the people coming through there. And it seems like, he told his wife, obviously you're very pretty to look at. So when we get to the Egyptians and they find out you're my wife, they'll kill me, but they'll keep you. Because especially back then it was really, really looked down on to mess with a married woman, which nowadays society doesn't care anymore. But so he told Sarah, you tell them you're my sister, that they will let me pass and they'll let me live. So it says it came to pass that when Abram was coming to Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair, means very pretty. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. So this is kind of where it gets a little tricky. The Egyptians, sure enough, liked Sarah, and the princes saw her and went back and told their father, the Pharaoh, about it. And Sarah was taken into Pharaoh's house, which means Pharaoh favored her quite a lot. Pharaoh had relations, I guess is the best way to put it. And it says, and he entreated Abram well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen, and he asses, and men servants, and maid servants, and she asses, and camels. So when Abram was sticking by the story that was his sister, Pharaoh treated him very well to keep her favor, to keep her happy. So Abram was given all kinds of sheep and ox and donkeys and servants. I mean, he was treated very well, and Sarah was too. But here's where we start circling around. So the problem is Abram was married to Sarah, but he could not let Pharaoh and them know for fear of him being killed. So Pharaoh and Sarah was having an affair, basically, that Abram knew about. Abram put everybody in a very, very bad situation. So 17. Now you got to remember, because Abram was one of God's people he really, really liked. So verse 17. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. Now, I don't know why this was like this. I don't understand, because Pharaoh did not know this was Abram's wife. So why did Pharaoh get the plagues instead of Abram, who set this up like this? I'm sure there's a reason for it somewhere, but from what I'm looking at, it seemed like Abram was the problem in this situation, and he got out scot-free. Sarah should have been punished as well. But at this time, this day and age, back then, women did as they were told. So she didn't have much to argue back. She wasn't allowed to. So I would say the fault fell on Abram. So I don't understand, because it says here, verse 18, and Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, She is my sister? So I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore, behold my wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away and his wife and all that he had. So that tells you right there, at least from this end, that Pharaoh had no idea. This was all what Abram done all this, but Pharaoh was the one who got the plagues put on him because of it. Now I don't if it plays out like that, I don't necessarily agree with how it come out, but I don't have to agree with it. I'm sure there was more to it. But it just seemed to me like Abram should have been the one punished for it. You know, Abram was the one scared to lose his life for doing what was right. But, and it says here basically that Pharaoh had took her as his wife, and he basically told him to take her and get your stuff and leave. So I can see where God would be very mad about a man sleeping with another man's wife at that time. But Pharaoh, honestly, according to this, Pharaoh didn't have any idea. Or maybe Pharaoh did, because, somehow Pharaoh found out when he confronted Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou tell me that she was thy wife? It sounds like he had just found out. So I'm thinking he didn't have a clue the whole time this was going on till right here at the end. And as soon as he found out, or maybe he knew further ahead before then, and that's when the plagues come and force Pharaoh to confront him. I don't know. It could go either way. The Lord's got his reasons. There's more to everything than what we know. Pharaoh could have figured it out a while back and just didn't want to mess with it. Didn't think it'd be a big deal. But that's the end of this chapter. Abram's been kicked out of Egypt, but it says that he was able to take all that he had, so I'm sure he had the man. Well, maybe not. He probably had the cattle and stuff. He left way better off than he come in. So he got lucky. He got to keep his life. So that's the end of this. So we'll go back to the life lesson of we see it today of people bending things to get what they want out of a situation. That's what Abram did here. He bent everything so he could. And yes, I mean, I understand his life was at stake, but he did not have to go to Egypt. I'm sure there were other towns, that other ways he could have come up with some kind of food or something. And I mean, even if there wasn't, I mean, you're supposed to be God's main man. So, and the first thing you thought of was to lie. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll all know about it one day, but it's very all the things that go on in today's society is was going on back then in the old times. Nothing's new. All this stuff that all these games being played in modern times were all played back then. So that's the end of this chapter. I will see you in the next chapter.